News in Italian. Today's news are good news. I think we all need respite from the bad news that are coming from all over the world. Quindi, notizie positive, notizie interessanti e curiose in italiano. I will ask you two questions in this video, one at the beginning and one at the end. So, listen carefully. Now I will show you three headlines in Italian. One of them is about a sailing ship, but which one?
Amerigo Vespucci, il veliero approda a Singapore. Il giardino della Chiesa del Redentore apre per la prima volta al pubblico. Paura a Milano. Un uomo si arrampica sulla facciata della stazione centrale.
So, which headline is about a sailing ship? Let's find out. Leggiamo subito la prima notizia. L'Amerigo Vespucci, simbolo dell'Italia nel mondo, approda al porto di Singapore per la 25esima tappa del suo tour mondiale. The Amerigo Vespucci, symbol of Italy in the world, docks in Singapore for the 25th stop of its world tour. Una nave bellissima, un vero alfiere dell'Italia, dei suoi valori, della sua bellezza, della sua capacità di costruire e innovare senza dimenticare la tradizione, ha affermato l'ambasciatore d'Italia a Singapore. Oh, that's a long one. A beautiful ship, a true standard bearer for Italy, its values, its beauty, its ability to build and innovate without forgetting tradition, said the Italian ambassador to Singapore. Nave, ship. When a ship lands or docks in a port, we use the verb approdare from proda, shore. La nave è approdata a Singapore. The ship docked in Singapore. Una nave bellissima, alfiere dell'Italia. The ship is called Alfiere dell'Italia. Alfiere is the same as portabandiera, flag bearer, standard bearer, and in a broader sense, representative. The Amerigo Vespucci represents Italy abroad. Cultura, bellezza, innovazione ed empatia. Questa è l'immagine dell'Italia e degli italiani di cui l'Amerigo Vespucci è portatrice. Culture, beauty, innovation and empathy. This is the image of Italy and Italians of which the Amerigo Vespucci is the bearer. Alla fine di novembre il veliero arriverà a Mumbai, in India, per un'altra tappa importantissima. At the end of November, the sailing ship will arrive in Mumbai, India, for another very important stop. Cultura, bellezza, innovazione ed empatia. What a flattering image of Italy. Well, let's hope we can live up to it. Veliero, sailing ship. Here's the word we were looking for. It comes from vela, sail. Cos'è l'Amerigo Vespucci? L'Amerigo Vespucci è un veliero. It's a sailing ship. È una nave scuola della Marina Militare Italiana. It's a training ship of the Italian Navy. It was built in 1931, so it's almost 100 years old. Cosa sta facendo l'Amerigo Vespucci? Sta facendo il giro del mondo per rappresentare l'Italia in tutti e 5 i continenti. It's going around the world to represent Italy in all 5 continents. Perché si chiama Amerigo Vespucci? Vespucci era un famoso esploratore. Vespucci was an explorer from Florence, and he was the first to understand that what now is called America, after him, was not Eastern Asia, but an entirely new continent. Well, new for Europeans, of course. If you want to follow the ship's tour, there's a link in the video description. We read more about it in this week's premium content on Patreon. Now, all I ask of you is to subscribe to this channel and have a look around. I am sure you will find something you like, and it's all free. Un muro che si abbatte, una porta che si apre. Per la prima volta il giardino della chiesa del Redentore fa entrare i veneziani e il pubblico. A wall that comes down, a door that opens. For the first time, the garden of the Church of the Redeemer lets Venetians and the public in. La chiesa del Redentore was designed by Andrea Palladio and was built on the island of Giudecca in Venice. Ci sei stato? Have you been there? Maybe you were there in July during the Festa del Redentore, when a bridge of barges is built to connect the island to the rest of Venice, and thousands of boats gather near St. Mark's to watch the fireworks and dine on the water. This church has a big garden, stretching over a hectare of land. Il grande lavoro di restauro del giardino è costato quasi 6 milioni di euro, in gran parte donati da mecenati illuminati. The major restoration work on the garden cost almost 6 million euros, largely donated by enlightened patrons. L'assessore al turismo di Venezia ha commentato: oggi ci sentiamo come chi sta per scartare un meraviglioso regalo. The Venice Councillor for Tourism commented, today we feel like someone who is about to unwrap a wonderful present. A patron in Italian is a mecenate, which was the name of a friend of Augustus who supported artists and poets in ancient Rome. That's why we call mecenati our top-tier patrons on Patreon. Scartare un regalo means to unwrap a present. Scartare also means to discard, to reject, but this is not the case here. It comes from carta, paper, since presents are usually wrapped in paper. According to the councillor, this new garden in Venice is a wonderful gift to Venetians and its visitors. Un meraviglioso regalo. So, next time you go to Venice, take the boat to Giudecca and have a look at this beautiful garden. Right now it has a pumpkin patch. Concludiamo con una notizia veloce, a quick read to wrap up our news. Un uomo si è arrampicato sulla facciata della stazione centrale di Milano, salendo su alcune impalcature, e ha iniziato a urlare. Sul posto sono intervenuti i vigili del fuoco e la polizia. A man climbed up the facade of Milan's Central Station using some scaffolding and started shouting. The fire brigade and the police arrived on the scene to rescue him. Arrampicarsi means to climb up. Impalcatura is scaffolding. Urlare means to shout, to yell. What was he doing up there? Quando gli agenti sono riusciti a far scendere l'uomo, un senza tetto che vive nei pressi della stazione, hanno finalmente svelato l'arcano. When the officers managed to rescue the homeless man who lives near the station, they finally unraveled the mystery. Una dimostrazione politica? Un gesto disperato? No. Qualcuno aveva rubato il telefono cellulare dell'uomo, che è salito sull'impalcatura per protestare contro il furto. A political demonstration? A desperate act? No. Someone had stolen his mobile phone and he had climbed up the scaffolding to protest against the theft. Svelare l'arcano, to unveil the mystery. Arcano is anything that is strange and mysterious. The man was homeless, un senza tetto, literally without a roof. Was he attempting a desperate act? Un gesto disperato? No, his phone had been stolen and he wanted to tell everyone about it. Tutto è bene quel che finisce bene. All's well that ends well. Ti è piaciuta questa edizione del nostro notiziario? Did you enjoy our news today? Don't forget to watch the other episodes as well. There's a lot of interesting vocabulary to learn. It will help you understand the news in Italian. Now, answer my question. Cosa significa mecenate? Ti ricordi? A, B o C? Write your answer in the comments. E per oggi è tutto. Ti aspetto la settimana prossima su questo canale. Ciao!